You think you can get away with this? Her voice trembled with years of anger. Her eyes locked onto Obina's eyes. Sweat beaded on his forehead as the broken teacup lay in pieces near his feet. The once proud Obina clutched his chest, gasping for air, his lips turning pale blue. Nkem stood calmly, watching as the man who took everything from her collapsed in agony. He tried to call for help, but his voice was barely a whisper. She bent down, her face inches from his, and whispered, "This is for my son." His body hit the floor, lifeless. The room filled with an eerie silence. Outside, footsteps approached. Nkem glanced once more at the man she had poisoned, the one who had killed her child. She then turned her face unreadable and calmly walked out of the office, ready for what was to come. The day had started so differently. Years earlier, Nkem was full of joy as she packed food for her son, Chibuzo. He was heading back to Ezinwa University, his final year in sight. She had worked so hard to raise him after her husband passed away from a heart attack, and Chibuzo was everything she had ever dreamed of. Brilliant, kind, and determined to succeed. "Remember who you are," she had said, smiling through her worry. "Stay away from trouble and bad company, my son." Chibuzo, with his usual smile, nodded. "I know, Mama, you worry too much." He kissed her cheek and, with his bag over his shoulder, left for the bus station. At the university, Chibuzo's intelligence had earned him respect among his peers. He had recently been elected as class governor due to his exceptional grades and leadership qualities. Things were going well, especially after he started dating his coursemate, Adaeze. Their love was known throughout the campus, and even Nkem had met Adaeze, treating her like family whenever Chibuzo brought her home during holidays. But everything changed one fateful night. It was late and Chibuzo was in his room when a knock came at the door. The sound was strange. It was too late for visitors. Uneasy, he asked, "Who is it?" Silence. He hesitated, but curiosity got the better of him. When he opened the door, no one was there. Only a letter lay on the floor. He picked it up, and when he read it, his heart raced. "Stay away from her, or you will pay with your life." Chibuzo was confused. He had no enemies, or so he thought. He slept restlessly that night, his thoughts consumed by the mysterious letter. The next day, he told Adaeze about the letter. When she saw it, her face paled, and Chibuzo noticed her hesitation. "What is it?" he asked, worry creeping into his voice. She looked away, her voice trembling. I think I know who sent this. It's my ex-boyfriend. He's a cultist." "Chibuzo, I didn't tell you because I didn't want to scare you." Chibuzo's heart sank. He felt betrayed that she had kept such a dangerous secret from him. But more than that, he was terrified. Days later, Chibuzo was walking home from school when a group of men surrounded him. At the front stood a tall, menacing figure, Adaeze's ex, Obina, the cult leader. "I told you to stay away from her." Obina growled, his eyes filled with hatred. "No one touches what belongs to me." Chibuzo tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. Before he could defend himself, Obina and his gang pushed him to the ground, threatening him with violence if he didn't end the relationship. Despite the danger, Chibuzo refused to abandon Adaeze. He loved her too much, but the cultists were always watching, waiting for him to make a mistake. One night, as Chibuzo was talking to his mother on the phone, there was another knock at the door. He had been on the phone with her, telling her about his studies and how things were going. "Mama, hold on, I think Adaeze is at the door," he said, placing the phone down. But when he opened the door, it wasn't Adaeze. It was Obina and his gang, and this time, they weren't just there to threaten him. Gunshots echoed in the room. Nkem, still on the phone, heard the argument, and then the gunshot that ended her son's life. A scream echoed through the quiet village, a mother's cry of anguish and loss. Chike's death sent shockwaves through the community. Nkem stood over her son's grave, her heart shattered. She was broken. The loss of her only child destroyed her. The police opened an investigation, and Adaeze, tearfully admitted that Obinna was behind the murder, and soon after, it was clear who the killer were. Obinna was arrested, but his father, a powerful and wealthy man, used his influence to bury the case. The boy who had murdered her son walked free, protected by his family's wealth and connections. Nkem was left with nothing but her grief and rage. Justice had failed her, but Nkem wasn't done. She would find her own way. Years passed, but Nkem's grief never faded. She had lost everything: her husband, her son, her peace. She watched as the man who killed her son thrived, becoming a successful CEO. But Nkem had not forgotten, forgiven, and she had not lost her will to fight. Nkem took a job as a cook at Obinna's company, blending into the background as she bided her time. She watched Obinna rise to wealth and power, living a life of luxury while her world remained shattered. She had lost everything, but she still had one weapon left: patience. She waited patiently for her moment of revenge. When she learned that Obinna would be returning to the office after a long business trip, Nkem knew her time had come. One afternoon, as she served tea in Obinna's office, she quietly slipped a deadly poison into his cup. She watched as he sipped the tea, knowing that justice was finally within her grasp. As he lay dying, Nkem stood over him, her heart heavy but resolute. "You thought your power could protect you?" she whispered. "But no one escapes a murder's wrath." The police eventually arrested her and was sent to court after investigation proved she killed Obinna. The courtroom was packed as Nkem stood before the judge, recounting the story of her son's murder and how the system had failed her. "I did what no one else would," she said, her voice steady. "I did what a mother had to do." The room was silent, the weight of her words hanging heavy in the air. Everyone in the courtroom pitied her, but the law had no room for revenge, no matter how justified it might feel. Nkem was sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder of Obinna, but as she was led away, she walked with her head held high. She had no regrets. Her heart was lighter. Justice in her eyes had finally been served. So guys, this is where I'm going to be ending this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and also turn on the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I drop a new video like this. Thank you.